Sculpted Grace, 12 Stoic Lessons for a Stronger, Wiser Life. Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm in chaos while others crumble under pressure? Why some seem unshaken by loss, betrayal, or disappointment? The answer isn't luck, it's mindset. It's a philosophy of life that was born thousands of years ago, in the quiet courtyards of ancient Greece and Rome, but it still holds the power to transform how we live today. Stoicism isn't about being cold or emotionless, it's about emotional mastery. It's learning to respond with clarity instead of reacting in chaos. It's the art of standing in the middle of the storm without letting the storm inside you. The Stoics didn't run from pain, they studied it. They didn't deny hardship, they prepared for it. They didn't seek control over the world, they sought control over themselves. And in our age of distraction, noise, and comparison, these ancient ideas are more relevant than ever. Because the truth is, you don't need the world to calm down, you need to find calm within yourself. Today, we'll explore 12 Stoic lessons that can help you do just that. Each one is simple but profound. Each one has the power to change not just how you think but how you live. So take a deep breath, find stillness for a few moments, and let's begin. Number 1. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. At the heart of Stoicism lies a simple but life-altering idea: some things are within our control, and some things are not. Peace begins the moment we stop fighting that truth. Most of our suffering doesn't come from events themselves, it comes from trying to control what we can't. The weather, other people's opinions, the past, the future, none of these belong to us. What does belong to us are our choices, our attitudes, and our actions. Imagine standing in a fierce storm. You can't calm the wind or stop the rain, but you can adjust your sail. That's the Stoic way. The ancient philosopher Epictetus lost everything: his freedom, his health, even his home, but he never lost his composure. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." The next time life feels unfair, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Use that energy on what you can change: your mindset, your effort, your response. That is where true freedom lies. Number 2, perception shapes reality. Have you ever noticed how two people can experience the same event, yet walk away with completely different feelings? One sees defeat, the other sees direction. One sees pain, the other sees purpose. The Stoics believed that reality isn't defined by what happens to us, but by how we interpret it. The mind, they said, is the ultimate filter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you decide an event is unbearable, it becomes unbearable. If you decide it's a lesson, it becomes a teacher. I once knew a man who lost his job and called it the worst day of his life. 6 months later, he'd started his own business and he said losing that job was the best thing that ever happened to him. The event didn't change his perception, did? When you learn to shift your perspective, you don't just survive challenges, you transform through them. Number 3, memento mori, remember you will die. The phrase memento mori translates to remember that you will die. At first, it might sound grim, but to the Stoics, it was a reminder to live deeply. Death is the great equalizer. It strips away illusions and forces us to see what truly matters. When you remember your time is limited, every ordinary moment becomes sacred. Marcus Aurelius reflected daily on mortality, writing, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Imagine how you'd live if you really felt the weight of those words. Would you hold grudges? Delay your dreams? Spend another day scrolling mindlessly? Probably not. You'd savor your coffee. You'd tell people you love them. You'd live intentionally. Memento mori is not a call to fear death, it's a call to honor life by refusing to waste it. Number 4, amor fati, love your fate. To love your fate means not just to accept what happens, but to embrace it fully as if you had chosen it yourself. Seneca said, "A good character, once established, cannot be overthrown by misfortune." When you learn to see every challenge as part of your path, you turn pain into purpose. There's a story about a sculptor who dropped his chisel while carving a statue, leaving a deep scar in the marble. At first, he was furious, but later, he realized that imperfection gave the statue its character. Life works the same way. The setbacks, the heartbreaks, the mistakes, they shape the masterpiece. When something unwanted happens, practice saying, amor fati. Love this too. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. Number 5, the obstacle is the way. When most people face obstacles, they stop. The Stoics did the opposite, they leaned in. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every difficulty carries the seed of transformation. Take Thomas Edison. When his laboratory burned down, destroying years of work, he didn't despair. He said, "Thank God all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start anew." That's stoicism in motion. The obstacle isn't there to block you, it's there to build you. Every failure, every rejection, every detour, each one refines your resilience. So when life puts something heavy in your path, don't ask, "Why me?" Ask, "How can I use this?" Number 6, focus on virtue, not validation. The Stoics didn't chase fame or fortune, they chased virtue. They believed that the only true measure of success is how you live when no one's watching. Wisdom, courage, justice, self-discipline, these were their currencies. In our world, where everything is judged by likes, views, and applause, Stoicism invites you to look inward instead. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." True strength is doing what's right even when it's unpopular. Maybe that means speaking up when others stay silent, or walking away from something that doesn't align with your values. When you stop seeking validation and start living by virtue, you become unshakable because your peace no longer depends on anyone else's approval. Number 7, Practice voluntary discomfort. Comfort feels good, but it weakens us. The Stoics believed that the way to prepare for hardship was to practice hardship. Seneca would sleep on the floor, wear rough clothing, and eat simple food just to remind himself that he could endure it. "Is this what I feared?" he would ask. You don't have to give up everything, but small acts of discomfort build strength. Take a cold shower. Skip a meal. Walk instead of drive. When you practice going without, you realize how little you truly need. Modern life teaches us to chase ease, but Stoicism teaches us to chase endurance. Because when comfort disappears, only character remains. Number 8, master your anger. Anger is seductive. It feels powerful, righteous, justified. But the Stoics saw it as poison. Marcus Aurelius warned, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" When you react in anger, you hand control of your mind to someone else. A friend once told me about a time she almost lost her job because of a heated email she sent in the moment. Later, she realized she wasn't angry at her boss, she was angry at herself for feeling powerless. The Stoics would say, pause. Breathe. Step back. You can't control provocation, but you can control participation. The strongest person in the room isn't the one who shouts the loudest, it's the one who remains calm when provoked. Number 9, free yourself from the opinions of others. The Stoics believed that caring too much about others' opinions is a form of slavery. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be invincible, hold nothing that can be taken away." That includes external approval. Imagine standing on a stage surrounded by 1,000 people, each shouting their opinion of you. If you try to please them all, you'll lose your voice. But if you step off that stage, walk into the quiet, and listen to yourself, you'll find peace. I once knew a painter who stopped creating because critics mocked his work. When he returned years later, painting only for himself, his art became more powerful than ever. Freedom begins when you no longer let others define your worth. Number 10, live according to nature. To live according to nature means to live in harmony with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. It's recognizing that life moves in seasons: birth, growth, decay, renewal, and peace comes from flowing with those cycles rather than fighting them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Adapt yourself to the life you have been given." A tree doesn't complain when the wind blows, it bends, it sways, and it survives. The Stoics believed we should do the same. Accept what comes, do your duty, love your people, and live simply. When you stop resisting the natural rhythm of life, you discover that the world isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. Number 11, practice daily gratitude. Gratitude, to the Stoics, was a daily discipline. Every morning, they reflected on what they already had, and every evening, they reviewed what they'd learned. Seneca said, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." Gratitude anchors you in the present. It reminds you that right now, you already have enough. Try this: at the end of each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. It might be a friend, a moment of laughter, or simply the fact that you woke up. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship, it gives it context. When you focus on what's good, even in small doses, life expands. Gratitude turns what you have into enough, and what you endure into wisdom. Number 12, you are the sculptor of your own soul. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The Stoics saw life as a sculpture, and every decision, every challenge, every thought was a chisel strike shaping your soul. A sculptor doesn't resent the marble for being hard. They work with it patiently, revealing form through effort. Life is the same. Every obstacle chips away what doesn't belong until only your truest self remains. So when you face hardship, remember you are not breaking. You are being shaped. The masterpiece is already within you. Stoicism simply gives you the tools to reveal it. Closing reflection. So here we are, 12 lessons that have survived centuries because they speak to something timeless in all of us. Control what you can. Reframe what you can't. Remember your mortality. Love your fate. Turn obstacles into teachers. Live by virtue. Train resilience. Master anger. Seek inner freedom. Flow with nature. Practice gratitude. And sculpt yourself through it all. The Stoics didn't live easy lives, but they lived meaningful ones. And maybe that's the point. The goal isn't to escape hardship, but to rise through it with dignity and grace. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on which Stoic lesson you need most in your life right now. Write it down. Live it. Practice it. And remember, your peace, your strength, your wisdom, they're already within you. Stay grounded. Stay graceful. And keep sculpting your soul.